Well, good morning, everybody. Again, welcome to the FuseNet Master Event 2023. We are really happy to have you here joining us in this edition. We are really looking forward to being able to show you the different initiatives in Fusion for you master students and the different ways that you can continue your career in Fusion depending on your preferences and on the many fields that that Fusion provides at the moment for you to do research or to work on. For this initiative that is Fusion and the production of electricity by fusion power. So on the agenda, we have the opening session by the chair of the FuseNet Board of Governors, Roddy Vann, but currently he's not joining the session yet. So what I will propose to do is we will continue with the event, and in the case when he joins, then we will give him the time to introduce the event itself. Anyway, the first presentation is going to be mine. So let's, I think we can start with that. So I'm going to share my screen for a second. Then I switch. Is it okay this way? Can you see my presentation? With this one.
Where is your presentation?
Can change.
Yeah, you check.
Sure. Okay.
Now we're seeing this.
Is there one? Okay. Let me just. I can do this. Yeah. Okay. So finishing the technical details. Yeah, my name is Darío Cruz, by the way. I am the FuseNet Executive Officer. So me and my team, we are the people in charge of running the executive office of FuseNet and making sure that the activities of the association take place. So you can see my colleague on the other camera, Mira Van Noonen. She's working with me in the executive office. And then behind the scenes, we have our student assistants for TUE, Bjorn and David, who are going to join in us, like I said, behind the screens for the whole event. So the goal of FuseNet is to develop, at least when we're talking about master students, which is the case for today, we are developing the future workforce of nuclear fusion. So let me give you a small overview of what FuseNet does and what FuseNet is. So FuseNet stands for the European Fusion Education Network. And we are an association funded in 2010. And the goal of the Fusion Association is to coordinate fusion activities in Europe. So we coordinate the fusion education in Europe. We are a legally established organization. We are, let's say, established by 65 member institutions, which are divided between universities, research centers, and companies. But at the same time, we are part of the Eurofusion Consortium. So we are part of the training and education unit in Eurofusion. And through them, we provide the education and training to students in many different levels of education. So it's not only master students, but we also have initiatives starting even from primary school, secondary school. Then soon we're gonna work on bachelor, and and we are gonna continue to master, doctorate, and then professional development, which intends to make possible for the students to join the different Fusion activities and projects and companies. So this is what we do. We promote education through training, discussion, and through also providing materials for Fusion education. And the goal of linking with our partners is to make this connection between the Fusion students in Europe and the different entities in Europe and even beyond Europe, regards of nuclear associations, industry, research institutions, universities. So this is pretty much what we do. Let's say that it's important for us to have you here as master students, because the main part of our activities and also most of the budget of the association goes to the support of mobility for master students. So let's say that you are our main beneficiaries, and that's why we want to show you a little bit what the association does and how can you profit from the initiatives that we do. Yeah, we also have, like I mentioned, we also have other initiatives, but let's say that for this event, we are gonna focus more on what we do for master students. So let's say, what is it for master students? Let's say that our main concern and our main activities for you is that we provide the student mobility support in 2 different schemes. The first one being internships, and the second one being educational events. So what do we mean by internships? For example, the majority of the cases, you are doing your master project, you will have a master thesis to defend at the end of your 2-year course. And then within this project, usually there is the possibility to go abroad and to make a short research stay, which is related to your graduation project. So this is mainly what we do. It is not limited to that. So for example, if during your master course, you also have the possibility to do an internship, which is not necessarily related to your thesis, but still in Fusion, or let's say that is tangential to your master thesis work, you can also apply for FuseNet funding to do this kind of initiatives. The idea of these internships is to promote mobility of students within Europe, but there is cases where it goes beyond, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. And what we offer to you for these internships is the possibility to have travel and subsistence support during your stay. I'm going to talk also more about the details later on. We also have the possibility for you to go to educational events. Educational events meaning summer and winter schools. And we offer for that also the possibility for you to have travel and subsistence costs. Of course, when I'm talking about summer and winter schools, this has to be focused on Fusion, of course. But yeah, just to clarify that. So this is mainly what the 2 things that we do with master students, and this is where most of our budget goes to mobility actions for students. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the application process. Let's say you are interested in this, you already have some idea where you would like to go and what you would like to do. So the first step for the application process is to submit the application via the FuseNet webpage. You can see on the picture on the right top part, this is what it looks like on our site. So if you go to the FuseNet website, you go to education and funding schemes, you will find this, and you will find a separate section either for internships or educational activities. And then you will have to fill a form. And my advice to you when you fill that form is to describe the tasks and activities that you will perform during your stay. Because sometimes we receive applications that just talk on the general topic, but do not focus on the actual tasks that you're going to do. So we usually have to ask for extra information. So when you have an activity, of course, you have to mention the main topic, but please, yeah, tell us also about the activities, which is what we evaluate. Important thing, please read the terms and conditions before you apply. In each section, there is a link for terms and conditions. This is key. for you to read, but I'm gonna just enumerate a few of them, which are very important. So of course, the internship and educational events need to be fusion focused. And this is key. It's not that the internships have to be just with possible applications for fusion or things like that. No, they have to be in fusion and fusion focused. And moreover, when we talk about fusion, focus in fusion, they have to follow the Eurofusion roadmap. So there is the Eurofusion. Eurofusion is the European Consortium for the Development of Fusion Energy. You can find the page there, and they have a roadmap. This is the roadmap that Europe follows regarding the development of fusion and the research activities in fusion. And let's say that the activities for this, the activities that you propose or the internship that you propose need to be considered within that roadmap. I'll give you an example. There is also the possibility of having inertial fusion, and there is a big line of research. But at the moment, inertial fusion is not considered within the Eurofusion roadmap. The Eurofusion roadmap focuses on magnetic confinement fusion. So if you, at the moment, if you apply for inertial fusion internships, we cannot support that. So please check the Eurofusion roadmap. Like I said before, this is a European mobility-oriented initiative, which means that the mobility should be between EU countries. What do we mean by EU countries? They should be countries that are part of the Eurofusion consortium. So you go to the page and see which countries are part of Eurofusion. Why do I mention a few exceptions? There may be some institutions outside of Europe, for example, US, Japan, Korea, and there is the possibility to go to these institutions via FuseNet. There is one requirement for that, and this is written in the terms and conditions. If you want to do an internship, either your home institution or the host institution where you're doing the internship need to be FuseNet members. So for example, if your institution here in Europe is a FuseNet member and you want to go to, let's say, INFS in Japan, it is possible to do because your home institution is a FuseNet member. It is not possible to bring students outside of Europe to Europe. So it doesn't work both ways at the moment. But I put something here because this may change in the future. There are a few initiatives that we are considering. For example, I know that there are some Japanese students joining because recently in Japan, the JT60 Super Advanced Tokamak, they announced that it was completed. And then I think the inauguration is going to be next month, early next month. And this is a joint project between Europe and Japan, part of the broader approach in fusion. So we will discuss, now that this facility is available, the possibility, of course, to send students to JT60, but also to accept Japanese students coming to Europe. But this is like a bilateral agreement that needs to be worked on. And we, in accordance with Eurofusion and with the Japanese research centers and universities involved, we will work on that. So that may be possible in the future. But at the moment, it's just mobility within Europe and from Europe abroad. Also, the educational events need to be held in Europe. So if you apply for an educational event, make sure that they are held in Europe, even if the organizer is from a FuseNet member. For example, we have the ITER, there is a summer school that ITER organizes, and sometimes it's being organized outside of Europe, and sometimes it's within Europe. So the times that it's organized in Europe, we can support you. The times that it's organized outside of Europe, we cannot. Like I mentioned before, for these initiatives, either your institution or the host needs to be a FuseNet member, so that's important. And one thing I want to mention also is that what we check is for affiliation, not your nationality. So it doesn't matter where you are from. What matters for us is that the university or research center or place where you are affiliated is within Europe and is a part of the Eurofusion consortium, and this is what we check for as part of the eligibility criteria. There is a few other activities regarding for the master students. We also have the master event, of course. This is where you are at the moment, where we want to show you the different activities in Fusion and opportunities. We also have the Student Council of FuseNet, which will start with new members next year. So the Student Council of FuseNet is an advisory board to the association. It is composed by PhD and master students from the FuseNet members. It's important that if you want to apply for this, you are part of a FuseNet member. And this is the voice of students within FuseNet, and they advise all the activities that we do in FuseNet. For the students, only for the students who are at the Technical University of Eindhoven, which is where our headquarters are, there is the possibility for them to have office hours working for FuseNet. We also provide Fusion educational material. So if you go to our website, you can find a dedicated site for Fusion material that can be useful for you. And what we strive to do is to create a community of Fusion students and researchers. So we try to make a joint effort for everybody to be here with us. And also, please check our webpage for the Fusion calendar. And yeah, we also list in our page the current schools and the events that are going to happen during the year. So summer schools, winter schools, activities. So check that out. If you want to be on the latest, having the latest information on our initiatives, please do check our social media. We keep them updated. We are working on that. So we are present on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we post regularly our activities there and our projects. So check it out. Also check our webpage. And we also have a monthly newsletter. So if you go to the webpage and you create an account, there is the possibility to receive the newsletter. And we also, it's a monthly newsletter, and we keep you informed of our latest activities. Yes, I've been reminded here of a very important topic. We have the Master Thesis Prize. The Master Thesis Prize is a competition that we make every year in order to give awards to the most outstanding master thesis of the previous year. So, for example, the Master Thesis Prize of 2023 gives awards to the theses that were finished in 2022 and so on. It's important for you to know that these theses, they cannot be submitted directly by you. So how we organize it is that we ask each of the FuseNet members to choose one thesis and submit it per institution. So let's say the institutions have an internal selection of theses, and then each institution sends us the best one, and then out of those, the Academic Council of FuseNet evaluates these theses, and then they provide the prizes. Last year we had 3 prizes, and then in this event later on, you are gonna hear from the 3 winners of the Master Thesis Prize. I think my presentation is over. I'm gonna give some time because I see Roddy here, I see Ambrogio also online, so I'm gonna stop, and then I'm gonna give, I guess, the word to Roddy Vann, the chair of the FuseNet board.
Hello, Dario. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Roddy, we can.
Dario, thank you for being flexible in terms of swapping the order around. Yes, I got stuck in some roadworks on the way in this morning, so I apologize to everyone for that. I'm going to only be very brief. My name is Roddy Vann. I'm an academic at the University of York in the UK, and it's my privilege to be the chair of the board of governors for FuseNet. So I'm essentially the chief academic dogs body. But anyway, and I'm lucky enough to work with some really great people on the board, but also, of course, on the student council that Dario mentioned. So what is it for me to say today? Firstly, thank you so much for coming along, both those who are speaking and presenting work today, but also particularly those of you doing master's programs from across Europe who are involved in Fusion. Thank you so much for coming along. Fusion is at such an exciting stage at the moment. We continue to learn lots from ITER, of course. We've got substantial domestic programs, both in Europe and further afield. We're seeing a huge growth in private fusion. And we're, I think, increasingly close to actively contributing to what, for me at least, is one of our species' most serious existential challenges: to provide sufficient energy to everyone in the world that they can access a decent standard of living whilst simultaneously not destroying the planet, right? And I know this sounds all a little bit big for what in the UK is about before 8:30 in the morning, but fundamentally this is why we're here. So thank you so much for being part of that effort. Dario has already told you loads of really great detail about FuseNet. just in case he didn't mention this, I just want to give sort of the very high level idea of what FuseNet is about. FuseNet has a rather lofty goal or vision, which is that everyone in Europe should have access to fusion education appropriate for their role in society. As a consequence, we work with people all the way from elementary school or primary school, all the way to people who have finished their PhDs and have gone into work in fusion. And just in the last 18 months or so, we've adopted 5 principles of community, mobility, diversity, accessibility, and excellence. And I'm really pleased that we've done that, because it says something about who we think we are, that we're about building a community together, that we think that community should be diverse, that it should be able to move around, that everyone should access it, and also, of course, that the work that we do should be excellent. So that's all I was going to say today. I'll finish where I started. Thank you so much for coming along. Please remain engaged with FuseNet. Today isn't the end. Hopefully today is the beginning of your relationship with FuseNet. Dario will have given you some of the contact details. You also have the website. Please stay in touch. Any questions you have, how do I get on and do a PhD? Are there events in my area? How can I contribute? Please just contact us. Dario, that's what I was going to say.
Thank you very much, Roddy. Yes, I think we managed to do a very good introduction of FuseNet, so thanks for joining, and yeah, great to have you here.